although people don't know it, they've been doing a jigsaw puzzle all their lives, but they've had all the pieces upside down, and with great effort, they've actually finally put the thing together. But it's all up. The whole thing's upside down. They've got the cardboard upside, and there's a beautiful picture on the other side. So we've got to say, well, that doesn't mean anything, son. You know, you've got the jigsaw puzzle the wrong way up.
The hilarious thing about that analogy as well is that if you did a jigsaw puzzle completely upside down with a blank brown background or something like that, that would be so hard to do. It would be so impossible to put all these pieces together and go, oh, that one misfit there because that shape's a bit right, and you've got no context for what's on it. And then, ironically, if you were to turn it the other way around in the first place, everything becomes simple.
Simply put, yeah, exactly. You'd put everything in the right place.
Yeah, because
very quickly.
Yeah,
very
because you go, well, there's all the blue bits, and they make the sky.
And if I tell you what the picture is before you do it, you actually got a picture, which is being offered
even more
you.
simpler.
You go, oh right, so the blue bits of the sky go over here, and the sun goes up here. So part of the teaching is, and certainly the enlightened ones, are to tell you what the picture's like, and then you can put the pieces in the right place. The thing about the puzzle being the wrong way up, and just the brown bits there, is that there are scientists with measuring equipment for you to measure the exact shapes and sizes
of each puzzle piece to go,
puzzle
that would
piece
definitely connect to that one.
That one goes next to that. And you can imagine that, the measuring equipment and the scientific way of doing the puzzle. And of course, there are things, you put the corner pieces here, but you could have the bottom corner pieces at the top, the completely wrong pieces. But the moment you've got them the right way up, you know which one go in the right.
Well, that's the funny thing about coming back to kind of creativity and stuff like that. Imagine if you were in a room and someone came in with this puzzle upside down and it was all brown, and they just looked at you and said, right, put these together, just get them all together. And if you were to creatively approach that before you just started putting them together, you might go, I'll just turn them over and think to turn them over and go, oh, hang on a minute. This authority that's told me to put them together hasn't even realized that they're the wrong way around. And then of course, that gives you your understanding, your power and everything to be like, well, it's my opportunity to think differently and approach this differently.